Was that French?
Yes.
Awesome.
4, 5, 6. That's all I got. Omelette de fromage.
I believe you.
I think I ordered just breakfast.
Nice. Dude, I had Chinese food for dinner, and I'm trying out this new like vegetarian thing. So Megan, my girlfriend, ordered was it tofu thing, and we asked for it extra spicy because usually it's not that spicy, and it was like ungodly hot.
Did you eat the whole thing?
I did. Well, no, I think I left 2 little bites uneaten because I was like, dude, my like eyes were watering, my nose was running, my stomach started hurting, so I just kind of.
Sounds brutal.
It was, man. Like it was good otherwise.
Is this your first dining experience in Denver?
No, we had some kind of pizza delivery. I think it was just like Papa John's or something, but
Nice.
I think it might be my first like Denver dinner. Can't really like, go out much because we have the dog with us, and like an unfamiliar Airbnb rental.
That's some Peyton Manning Papa John stuff out there. You might have got it from his restaurant.
Oh, is he a Bronco?
Yeah, he's retired now, I think. But yeah,
that's right.
He owns a few, and he's made comments about how he thinks pot legalization has helped his business ventures.
I'm sure.
But yeah, the local fare, dude. Support local business. I'm joking, Ken.
For people listening, I moved to Denver like 2 days ago from the DC area, and it's been kind of unique to just walk down the street and smell like pot and like know that it's legal. Like it's weird. I don't know. I feel like that's more of like a college dorm type smell.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what I'm
Are you
about.
no, you are not a pot smoker yourself.
Nope.
You are not a beer drinker yourself.
No, sir.
Do you think you're gonna use the gateway drug and go through the gateway?
No, but I also
how long
think
is it
that,
before you overdose? Is my question.
just go absolutely crazy. There is we're at this Airbnb right now for a couple weeks until we find our own place, and there's a really nice bottle of bourbon that the host left for us.
Whoa. Does Megan drink?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. So there's nothing we can do with it, but I feel kind of like kind of fancy just having it around.
It's the thought that counts, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. There's also some like kind of cheap champagne in the fridge here, some ice cream left over from the previous tenant. It's
Sounds like a party.
I know. I don't know what they were doing here, but it was pretty crazy.
Sounds fun, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Not that you need a drink to have fun, of course, but you do need ice cream.
I think it was Ben and Jerry's too.
Fuck yeah. Or sorry, I gotta stop swearing so much. But yeah, that's a nice brand of scream.
Have you been swearing? I think I'm so like just used to that I didn't even.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I'm bad about it. But so you just drove from DC to Denver. Let's hear about your trip.
Yeah. So we originally planned to leave Northern Virginia, where I lived for the past 7 years, November 1st, which is basically like just days after coming back from vacation in Argentina. And we were going to drive down to New Orleans, across over to Texas, and then straight north to Denver. But we have a dog with us, and we figured that it wouldn't be the best vacation, I guess, experience with a dog. Can't really bring him into places or really see much of the town. So we ended up staying 2 days later in Virginia so that Megan could sell her car. And then we drove through Ohio all the way across Kansas, the most boring state in the world.
Yeah.
And made it to Denver like 2 days ago. Just stayed in like a couple different hotels because we got here before the Airbnb was ready for us.
Oh, okay.
But it was nice, man. I mean, my car did well. It's the first like decent car I've ever owned, so it was nice to.
You just got it like a little while ago?
I got it last year. I mean, it's a 2011.
Okay.
But before that, I've driven like 96s and stuff. So it's kind of nice.
Welcome to the new century, dude.
Oh yeah, man, it's great. So it was like nice to drive and not like be afraid for my life of the car just like breaking down on the highway.
My family has never really Like they're not car people either. So I've never been like, oh yeah, pedal to the metal time to burn some road. And but yeah, it's a comforting feeling. I got like one flat tire like 3 years ago, and I've never felt comfortable in the car. Like I must keep the tire pressure up at all times.
Right.
Well, and the jack I was using like bent under the weight of the car. I'm like, this doesn't feel like
right
how it goes. I fear this. Anyway, so
yeah, it's no fun, man.
So a quick, any like, did you have any Kerouac-y thoughts? Any deep pondering while driving? It's a lot of hours.
I don't think I've finished a Kerouac book, so I don't know if I have, but there was Megan and I decided to do basically 2.5 hours on, 2.5 off the whole time. So
it's not bad.
It kind of like, with the exception of Kansas, it went by pretty quickly. The first day we ended up staying with some new friends in Cincinnati, Kyle and Kylie, who are going to be hosting a podcast on this network, and that was kind of cool to finally meet them.
They're doing a gamer show.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of them chatting. I mean, their main thing is games, so they haven't started or anything, but it's basically just going to be pretty free flow with them. But dude, they have like this really cute house a bit outside of Cincinnati. She's a brand ambassador for Nintendo, and they just like send her boxes of stuff like every couple weeks, I think, and she just like takes pictures of it for Instagram. Okay. And it is crazy how much like gaming stuff is in their house, and like she and her husband like genuinely love it, like live and breathe video games, and it's like
a rare dream job scenario, like legit.
I don't think she gets paid for it necessarily. I'm not really sure the situation. Like they both have jobs, but it was cool, man. Like lots of Zelda stuff.
You do love Zelda.
Kind of heaven for me. So it's pretty.
How many Zelda tattoos do you have at this point?
Just one.
Just one?
Well,
okay.
Yeah, just like I have the Triforce on my foot, and I have a big tattoo on my left arm that's actually a Blink-182 tattoo, but there's like this little hidden element in there that's like a really minor thing from a Zelda game, but it was just fitting. So I'll kind of consider that.
What was it?
So in Skyward Sword, which is the most recent game, they're kind of in these like floating land masses, and you jump off these little bridges to like fall into the sky and get on your little loft wing, which is like a dragon kind of thing of sorts. Yeah, but you can only jump off from these bridges, so I added like one of those little bridges there, so it looks like something from the game.
Nice. With a little windmill?
Yeah.
Nice.
The night will go on.
Carry me home? No. Yeah?
Yeah, same.
Carry somebody somewhere.
Yeah.
To get my nasally voice checked out. I think there's something wrong with my throat.
Oh man, I was listening to Boxcar Racer today. Great album. It
was a good side project, yeah. Side projects don't always go well. That one did for sure.
No, and I'm not like obviously I love Marks, I love Blink-182, but I've always been a bigger fan of Tom's stuff. Did not like Plus 44.
No. They had a few good songs. No, It Isn't is one of my favorite songs ever, but I don't think that was a good band.
No, I wouldn't say so.
So you are Airbnb-ing for a month, and then you are giving yourself a month to find an apartment?
Yeah, which is going to be interesting. I mean, the past 2 days, we've basically been driving all around the city trying to find places that we'd like to live, places we can afford to live, and more importantly, places that we definitely do not want to live. And we found a bunch of those.
Right.
Which, Denver is actually... So we decided we'd move here without jobs or a place to live. Neither of us have even been here.
Why Denver?
It was, more or less just kind of like, I wouldn't say random, but kind of flirting with the edge of that. Like, I don't know, the idea just like popped in my head one day when we were deciding on where to move, because we were living with Megan's parents for like 2 years to save up money to move out November 1st. Like that was our goal, but we didn't know where. So we kind of created a short list of places we'd like to live. On that list was Seattle, Portland, and Denver.
Keeping it pretty hip.
Yeah, we try. So we kind of just, without getting too, whatever, we just figured we'd let the universe push us in whatever direction we're meant to go. And from like the day that we both sat down and decided on our short list, we were just like bombarded with like signs of Denver. Like people all of a sudden were talking about it. Our friends were visiting it and posting pictures on Facebook. There's like bumper stickers everywhere, t-shirts. And Megan even started getting these phone calls from a Denver area code, and there was no one on the other line when she picked up. Like it happened a couple times. So
Weird.
we were just like, well, Denver, I guess. So we, put a pin on the map and just went for it, I guess.
So now the race is on to find a place and a job? Not in that order necessarily?
Right. I think the job is going to have to come first because any reasonable landlord wouldn't rent to a couple of kids without a job.
Sure. Plus, you need. Do you have enough? Well, I guess we don't have to talk about your finances.
But I mean, we'll go there, man.
Well, I mean, like, do you have first and last saved up and things like that?
I do. We were on like a super intense budget.
Because she took that Instagram photo, which I thought I was scared for her, but she has all this cash, and she just took a picture. She was like, "Fuck with me" or something like that.
Well, what's funny is that was only like a month and a half or 2 months of tips from her main job. She also made like an hourly rate, and then she's like a photographer and does video, and she was also doing a bunch of side projects. So she earned money way faster than I did. Like I could not touch that. But I would have. So we had a savings goal of $5,000 that we had to save in 6 months. I would have been exactly at 5,000 had I not got Megan's car towed in Philly, which cost me $500.
What happened?
I still need to actually refute that ticket. I paid $200 to get the car out of the impound lot. They claimed that I parked in a handicap spot, and I am 100% confident that I did not. From what I hear, it's just something Philly does. They just ticket out-of-state cars because you're not going to go there to contest it, right?
Sure.
But you can like contest it through email, I guess. So
that's nice.
I'm going to give that a try because it's like a $301 ticket, and it was $175 to get the car out of the lot, plus like a $25 cab ride there, like right before a wedding I was supposed to be at. It was the worst.
Yeah, it sounds like a mess.
But then I had a bunch of like car repairs before we left, so I ended up being like a grand shy of the savings goal. Mm-hmm. But my mom, who has never given me money like in my life, she actually owes me quite a bit of money. She like just randomly retired on Tuesday with like zero warning, and she's been at the same place for like 20 some years. So she's giving me like a little bit of cash to make up for what I lost in that towing situation. So that's like kind of a relief because this money is going to go fast. I've got bills to pay, and but I'm just trying to.
True. So you got the Airbnb paid off for the month, and you're just kind of now it's go time.
Yeah. We just really have to find jobs, as most people do. But it seems like there's no shortage of work. Not really the work that I want to do, but it's work that I can do. So
would you ever go back to coffee stuff?
No, dude, I can't. I did that for like 6 years, but I got it tattooed on me, man. I have a little coffee cup with "Never Again," and that's law, man.
But you're good at it. You were a good barista.
Oh, I'm phenomenal at it, but I hate it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I did my time. It was fun. It was a fun distraction from what I really wanted to do. which I'm still kind of figuring out. I mean, I want to do, I'm working on the podcast network. We're recording our first episode now, and with zero introduction of who we are or what we're all about.
True.
But that's okay.
Well, I haven't talked to you in a while. I wanted to catch up a little bit too.
Yeah, definitely.
And we recorded before a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, we
Dear listener, we have done this once before.
We had a test. The first one was pretty cool. We talked about Nickelback. They're still on my phone, which is just like kind of hard to see. But
we didn't talk about them the whole time. It was like
20 minutes.
Maybe we could edit this part out and think of something else to sell it on. So guys, we've never done this before. In our first episode, we talked about Nickelback for like a while, for like too long, probably. And by the way, I'm Pat.
But we talked for like 3 hours.
True.
And those 20 minutes were definitely the best part. I don't think
there was some steaming hot takes laid down on and presented to the world.
Right.
Like a sweaty athlete's head on a cold day, just spirits floating up out of that steaming hot take.
Do you at all feel it necessary to kind of go through some formal introductions and talk about why we're doing this?
Yes.
Do you want to take it?
Yeah. Well, I guess I would first ask, have you talked to Zach at all recently?
No. He's been harder to get a hold of now that he is wedlocked.
Yes. I have also had trouble contacting him. But he is, in theory, dear audience, the third member of Reminiscent, the name of the podcast, which is one of 5 in Tom, my beloved partner's new network of podcasts.
Right.
And we are... we can work around this.
No, it's great.
The fun ones? No, I don't know. So it's called Reminiscence, but we might not talk about our childhoods as much as we thought we might have at first. Is that the gist?
Right. Yeah, I think so. I mean, we
made a full commitment to steaming hot takes. Is that what it was?
I think so. I mean, we'll just we'll go with it. We'll see what happens. But we've been friends.
Look,
I mean,
basically, if you're going on a long ass airplane ride and you've already listened to everything else, you might as well. That should be our tagline. Why not?
Last resort.
Well. We should call the podcast Last Resort. Truth be told.
Well. I'll get a hold of the designer and see if we can get those changes in there.
Yeah.
But I don't know, a little backstory. I mean, I met you and Zach, a theoretical third member, when I abandoned Catholic school for the finer public schools. I met you guys there. But you guys have known each other since you were like little babes, right?
Kindergarten. No, preschool. Yeah.
Preschool.
Christ the Redeemer Preschool in Lawrence Park, Pennsylvania, which is in Erie County, which is the county of Pennsylvania that touches one of the Great Lakes, Lake Erie.
Yep.
Could go on all day. Second shallowest Great Lake, but that's really has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Anyway, yeah, we've known each other for a very long time. We went to Safety Town together. We got weird puberty crushes on the same older women that were camp counselors to us at Eastminster Day Camp, which is just down the road from Christ the Redeemer, truth be told, Tom. If we're just mapping it out for the good folks at home at this point.
Well, I mean, Lawrence Park is only 6 blocks long?
7 on a good day, maybe. Like, they say there's a one stoplight town. I don't think it had any, not enough traffic to justify the electricity use. So it's just, the main drag is a diner and a barbershop and a hardware store.
Yeah.
Anyway, you came into our lives, and we have been. We've been friends. I'd say we've been friends. We've seemed to get along a little bit. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, we were in that band together.
Yes, we were.
Do you remember the name of that band?
Tom. Yes, I do. Of course, I do. We made T-shirts. 4 Under Par, which at the time
4 Under Par.
like the golf score. And at the time, it felt hilarious. But then I don't know how that even happened, truth be told. So, like, we were like everybody else
either.
At one point in their life, a garage something band, and pop punk was big at the time. And I remember laughing really hard at, like, the golf score aspect of it. Because it would be like, why does that, But certain things, like, I guess I'm trying to analyze this on the fly here. I guess it can't just be funny because it's random, but, like, if it's the name, I don't know, like, there's a fine line between, oh my God, yeah, wow, so random. But then there's the other side of that line, which is like, how much thought did you put into this? Like, this seems misguided. Anyway, we found out quickly that everyone thought it was super lame.
Well, I mean, we were 12 years old when we named the band.
We were 12. In our defense, yeah. We were, like, just growing pubes. Like...
Well, you guys maybe.
No. Well, yeah, you had it. You were born with some girth. I know that for a fact.
You're embarrassing me.
What's there to be embarrassed about? I guess admitting that I've seen it probably would be the most embarrassing part.
Anyways.
Yeah, we can throw that one out.
So yeah, we kind of grew up together. You and I went to high school together.
And Zach stayed at the high school in Lawrence Park. But we still hung out. And you moved to D.C. for college.
Big mistake.
And you've been in Virginia since.
Yes, just over 7 years.
And you don't miss it? The D.C. area, I should say?
No, I hated it. I had like a 2-year run where I kind of enjoyed it, and it's because I kind of like when I was really loving my job, and there were like a lot of cool people there. But then things just like took a turn, man, and I've been wanting to get out since, but just never really had the balls to do it. So
yeah, I was going to ask why did you stay for so long? Because you were only in school for a little while, part of that.
Right. Yeah, I graduated like early 2013, but I've always been like the kind of person who, for any big change, such as moving across the country, I think I've used the desire for like pretty concrete plans. Like I've used that as a reason to not actually do it. It's been like, but I need a job first. I don't really know this and that. And so I've just never done it. But this time I feel like I tried to, Well,
it sounds like you weren't dying to get to anywhere specific other than there. I mean, Denver was a random choice, it sounds like.
Yeah, definitely.
You just wanted to make a choice, and then so you did, it sounds like. I
And I think the thing was I have a degree in audio production, which has been super great. Really makes one employable. But I always thought that LA would be the answer because that's, entertainment and that's just like where you go. But I lived a bit outside of DC, which is just traffic all the time. Anywhere you go, you're sitting in traffic for an hour. And there's no really redeeming qualities of that. You don't live in a cool place. You're not going to a cool place. You're just like in traffic all the time. And I didn't want to go to LA and just be in traffic all the time. So in my head, I was like, I should go to LA because that's what you do. But I really didn't like want to. And I think that's why I never really went like I said I would.
Right. Yeah, I remember you saying that. But now you're in the mountains. Good old...
Denver is pretty perfectly flat. It's kind of near the mountains. Like you can see them, and I feel like that's never going to get old, man. Like I'll like make a turn down a street, and all of a sudden you just like see the freaking Rocky Mountains, and it's like unlike anything I've ever seen before. And I don't think that will get old, but they're definitely at a distance, which I didn't really like realize that when when we decided on Denver. I kind of heard that it wasn't like a mountain city or anything, but they're a little farther than I thought they may be, but it's still like awesome, man. Like all the streets are like perfectly flat, which makes riding a fixed gear bicycle pretty easy, especially when those bikes don't have brakes on them. So
you don't have
I'm looking
brakes?
forward to that. No,
Tom, it's not safe.
No, you don't need them. You got your feet.
I guess so.
Yeah, you're good to go.
I've never ridden one
No worries.
before.
Well,
A fixed gear bicycle. I've ridden a bike like several times.
right. Well, we have to come hang out, man. I mean, once we have a place, we have a whole bunch of bikes. Megan and I each actually had 3, and we each sold one before moving. So we're coming here with four bikes, and 3 of them are fixed gears.
Yeah. Yeah, I sold my bike. I was living in New Mexico for a few years after school, and I sold my bike and guitar when I came back to Cleveland, Ohio.
You sold a guitar?
Yeah. I sold them each for $100, and I used the money. I needed it, so I'll get another one back. Moving sucks, dude. That first month's rent and the security deposit, and I figured after a couple paychecks, I'd have enough. But I haven't even gotten a real bed yet because I keep spending all my money to fly back and see Jessie, who is my girlfriend, who lives in New Mexico still for a little while. So I've been on an air mattress for a while, like 5 months now, the whole time here.
Oh my god!
It's like a big one though. It's like a nice air mattress.
Is it like the kind that has like the independent parts for like the inside and the outside, or?
No, it's like 2 feet off the ground, or no, 2 feet tall, and the inflator is like built in, which is pretty fancy as far as air mattresses go, and as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
And yeah, it still sucks though sometimes. Like I didn't have a couch for the longest time, because again, like I said, whenever I saved any money up, I would just buy a plane ticket to fly back to Albuquerque, which is not cheap, but that's also part of the reason why I came back to the quote-unquote East, was because I was sick and tired of draining my bank account to fly home for Christmas. Anyway, yeah, so I sold the guitar and sold the bike. It was a nice bike, too. It was like an old roadster type situation. And it doesn't really rain, and there's no moisture in New Mexico, so and there was nothing rusty about it. It was good to go.
Right. Man, I'll tell you what, the one thing that everyone's saying like, like it's, Denver's like a mile high and,
Albuquerque's a mile high,
Is it?
It is, yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that. But everyone was like warning of like, trying to acclimate to like the air pressure or something. And I haven't noticed that at all. It just seems dry to me, which is amazing because the humidity in DC just like makes me angry, man. I like walk out the door and just like want to end it. It was so freaking humid there.
Yeah, no, so
we'll not miss that.
In Albuquerque, which is pretty similar to Denver, I mean, right? Like thin air, mountain town, or mile high city. There's no mosquitoes really. It's dry as heck. And I guess there's like a few more cockroaches. Like you're trading mosquitoes for cockroaches, but to me it seems like a nice trade-off because they don't actively seek your flesh, and they're just chilling in the corner. You know what I mean? I don't know. So it's just like a different. But yeah, getting acclimated to the altitude, I definitely felt the altitude sickness for like 3 days. Like they say to drink a lot of water, but it's different out there, man. I think people from like Erie or Pennsylvania. Or Ohio, for that matter. I feel like there's a lot of talk about Florida and that being the place to retire. I don't know why people don't go to Colorado or New Mexico or Arizona. Maybe Arizona's too hot, but like a nice, cool, high desert place. Like, not is it only cheaper, but like Florida's a swamp. I feel like I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, it's awful. It's miserable.
Well, I know Denver's like everyone's moving to Denver and Austin, those two cities. But I mean, like even rural Colorado, or like. Anyway, I'm a big fan of New Mexico. I just wish it wasn't so far from everything.
Yeah. Why didn't you stay there then?
Well, I don't want to like bash an employer on this, so if you could edit this out, I guess.
Sure.
But the job specifically, I guess. And like I said, it was I never got visitors because it's too expensive. I could barely go home because it was too expensive. I got family and friends that weren't there, Right. Pro and con list, and Jesse didn't want to stay there forever, especially because our employer was, there's not much. I've told you these stories over the phone in the past. It just wasn't a good situation, so.
Sure.
So I came back, and, Yeah, though New Mexico's pretty rad. If I did any other job, I think, or I had more friends there, I guess maybe, or no, I had friends there. I just not old. You know what I mean? Like I didn't see you or Zach or my parents
Right.
ever. I think my parents came out once, and Kevin Lee came out twice. He visited me the most. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
was just
That's cool.
I don't know, just wasn't a place you stay forever. Maybe if you're not from there.
No, I feel you. I mean, it's
Like I don't know. You get older, you miss your siblings and your parents. Like when you're a teen, you're like, F this. You know, I know it's like I just don't love my family. Like I don't care. You know, like I know that's not like all right to say. You know, as you zip up your tight. I actually never wore skinny jeans, but
right.
you get what I'm trying to say. It's like no, I know it's bad, but I just don't care. And
Right.
but now I do. I miss them. I
Yeah.
see my mom like 3 times in the last 2 weeks. It's pretty nice.
Nice.
Yeah, she baked me apple crisp for my birthday, and that's delicious. And it was a good day. It was a good weekend.
It does sound nice. I haven't had apple crisp in a minute.
Do you want the rest of mine? There's too much.
Yeah, dude, just bring it over.
All right. I would have come to see you though, for real. If it's a long 6-hour drive though,
6?
from Albuquerque to Denver. There's 7 maybe.
Oh, from Albuquerque. Okay. I was gonna say, dude,
No, yeah,
it's farther. Okay.
not from here.
Well, I don't. Have you ever looked into like Spirit Airlines?
Yeah, they say the it's closer though. Aren't there a lot of fees and the chairs are closer and the flights get canceled all the time?
I don't know about the flights getting canceled, but
Have you used it?
I have.
Okay.
It's
Positive experience?
It was an experience. I mean, you're pretty crammed. If you don't have like any bags with you, it's a good deal, but they really throw in the extra fees for bags. You don't get like any free drinks or anything. It's supposed to be like literally you are paying for your seat on the plane. And the last time that I think we took it to Vermont last fall or something, and I had a window seat, but there was no window.
Nice.
It was terrifying.
So it's a budget flight to a T.
Oh, totally. I mean, you can get like a $100 ticket if all you bring is like yourself and a carry-on. Which, if you're going somewhere for like 2 or 3 days, it's great. But if you need, to like check a bag, it's like $90 or something.
Nice.
So if you do it the right way, it can be a good deal. But you could end up screwing yourself if you don't do it right. So.
Right. I'll get out there when I can. Definitely. It's weird just kind of waiting for your significant other to like. So you've done distance before. It's weird, man. Just trying to pass the time. It's a weird because everyone's like carpe diem, seize the day, do everything you can in a day. But if I'm being honest with myself, I really am just waiting for the spring to come. At this point, it's a weird kind of state of. I don't know. It's.
I understand, man.
It's goofy. I want to. You know what I mean? That's all I want. I feel kind of lame saying that, but like all I want is just for Jesse to get here and we start that back up.
Yeah, dude, totally. I mean, I
like care about her and like you know what I mean. Like it's weird, man. I'm a different man than I was back in the day.
Yeah, dude, I feel that. I feel it.
It's so anyway. I kind of feel like I'm running a place to a certain degree here, but it's okay, I guess.
Yeah, man. I mean, I did distance, but it was like I was like 17, 18, 19, and I kind of thought it was like a serious thing back then, but after living with someone for 3 years and like having a dog together and like, I mean, it's those past relationships seem pretty childish, so I didn't really have the experience of like being an adult and seriously dating someone long distance, and I imagine it's even worse than being a kid and doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, even though so the jealousy sets in.
Yeah.
Even though there's nothing there,
Yeah.
it's just like Because you have all you do is you just have time on your hands to think, and that's the worst. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like, and the trip to the airport after every visit is always brutal. Because it's like you got to say bye again and all over. But we don't have to bring it down too far. I've told you all this stuff before.
So yeah, growing up has been just I think the best part of growing up is seeing all the GIFs on Facebook, trying to describe what it's like growing up, and I think those are really enjoyable and pretty accurate. You get the kid that tries to jump through that little loop thing and gets caught and is like falling down all these levels of like little rope knot things, and he just like can't catch his balance, and it's like, this is me trying to grow up, and it's just it's accurate, man. It's like, it's really difficult.
A little bit.
You can't really blame really much of anything on anyone. And when you were young, it was just it was a lot easier to get away with stuff, and no one really really held you to anything as much. And it was just, everything was so carefree. When you guys wanted to come over and jam and just play music 4 times a week, it was like, yeah, man, I got nothing else going on. I'm only 14 years old. So now it's like, I was in this band here in Virginia, and oh my God, trying to find 2 hours a week to practice was like impossible. I mean, we ended up canceling more times than we actually practiced, and that's why it kind of fell apart. I mean,
so you're not doing that anymore?
No, I quit like 6 months ago, maybe more. I don't even know. I have no concept of time anymore.
Are they still playing shows?
No, dude, I was that band, man. I mean, if we're being honest, I kind of did everything.
Yeah, so true.
They're doing some other thing, and I wish them well with that. But one of the dudes is like moving to LA in 2 weeks, so they I don't know. It was something that I didn't want to like tour professionally. I didn't even want to tour at all, man. I like being home. But if I'm gonna do something, I want to be like good at it. It's something I want to be proud of to show other people. And I just like took it more seriously than they did, and our personalities kind of started not meshing too well once I got frustrated with their lack of commitment. And so I was in the middle of recording a 7-song EP for them, basically, because they would never come over to record. And I just got frustrated because I was doing everything. So I just stopped, and we have 6 songs right now that just need like a little bit more vocals in it, which is, what I did. I sang, and they're pretty much like ready to go. And I just think no one's ever going to hear them, which I feel like weirdly okay about. I just hit a different time in my life where I don't, it's funny because we're like recording this for a podcast, but I personally don't want to be a podcaster. I want to create podcasts from the background. So my role is basically like the producer, but really kind of hands off, to where I started the network. I did all the back end stuff for that, getting it all in order. There's still like so much more to do. This won't air for probably like 3 or 4 months when things are ready to go, and that's fine. But I kind of want to create a platform that enables other like writers, journalists, entertainers, whoever, to have their own podcast. And it'll just be on my network, and I'll do the editing, mixing, publishing, promoting. I'd love to have some ads on there, so we're at least getting paid for our time. So I'll do all the back end, not so fun stuff, and just allow people to have fun, in front of a microphone. It's kind of what I'm doing. It's what I would love to be making money on it in a year, and be self-employed in 2, and own a Tesla in 3. That's the big picture plan there. So,
Sounds good.
yeah, man. So, let's write this down. I'll have to put it in my phone later. November 7th, 2019. I'm going to buy a Tesla.
There you go. What if they go out of business before then?
What was that?
I jokingly said, what if they go out of business by then?
Oh, they won't, man. Oh, my God.
No, yeah.
Did you see their solar roofs?
No, but I'm very interested in.
Oh, my God, Pat.
If I were to own a home someday, solar power or wind power. I saw some article online about some dude that was making his own fan or like a windmill that generated electricity. Anyway, yes, I haven't seen it, but I'm very interested. What are they?
Real quick on the drive through Kansas, they had like wind farms everywhere, and it was amazing. They're so big and so quiet, and just like, I don't know. I think the potential of renewable energy is fantastic, which is why I love. I think it's interesting that the solar roof is made by Tesla, even though Elon Musk is also. I think Tesla bought Solar City. He's either the CEO or just a chairman of that company, but the roofs are made by Tesla, and they are solar tiles that look just like normal roofing tiles. So, nice. Yeah, you can have like a
normal looking house.
Yeah, normal looking house. They're more durable than regular tiles. And dude, I'll have to send you this video. They are beautiful. They have like 4 different styles, and in a lot of them, when you're looking at them in like a certain angle, which is like the normal like roof pitch as observed from the ground, you don't see them at all. They just look like normal freaking tile. Like it's amazing, and it'll power my Tesla car someday. That will drive me around town because that thing is just on autopilot, and that's a dream. I mean, honestly, that's what I feel like
for all this?
I'm working for. Yeah, man, of course, I love it. I love Denver. I kind of loved where I lived in Arlington, Virginia when I first moved there, and it took me about a month to realize that I didn't like it that much. But
are you worried about that happening again?
I don't know. I don't think I'm as naive as I was as just like a fresh little baby-faced 18-year-old moving away from his mom for the first time. I think that's more of what it was. Because, dude, we lived in this like high-rise apartment that was right underneath like a bunch of bars, and it was just up all night hearing like screaming from down on the street, ambulances going through all the time. I hated like the roommates I was with, but I still liked the place, and I think it was just because my mom wasn't there,
Right.
And that's clearly, not the case here. And there's like a lot of, we drove around in the past few days, probably a total of about 7 or 8 hours. And there's like definitely some places I don't want to go, want to live, but there's a lot of like really kind of cute neighborhoods that have their own little local like corner of like restaurants and bars and other stuff like that. So I think it's a place I can get comfortable with.
Do you want to stay out there forever?
I mean, I don't really, since we're still renting or got to be renting.
I guess it's hard to know.
I'm not even like really thinking about it. I'm not making any plans. I would start thinking about them more if we were looking into like buying a place, which if we still like the area after 2 years of rent.
Which I wouldn't do in Denver right now.
Why not?
Oh, just because everything's at such a premium. Austin and Denver, it's like I don't know, they can't sell them fast enough. Like houses are going for like, I don't know, I'm going to get the numbers wrong, but like 2 or 3 or just grossly is more, I don't know, like I knew a guy, like, so Austin and Denver are probably 2 of America's trendiest cities right now. I think that might be fair to say.
Yeah.
Anyway, I knew a guy who his mom owned, or his great-grandmother owned a house in Austin, and she sold it, and they just split the money between her heirs or whatever, and it was some crazy. Anyway, I would say you would be not paying what the house was worth, I guess.
I feel you.
How am I trying to phrase this? Like, you're going to get gouged if you buy a house there right now, I feel like.
Yeah, and it's funny. I don't know what like the housing market in Albuquerque is like, but
It's
my
garbage. No
yeah,
one goes
okay.
there. No one even cares about it. It's you could buy the town. You could buy several towns. I think that's safe to say.
Just walk in and become the mayor with $40 in your
Yeah.
pocket.
Hey man, if you do a standoff with the sheriff outside the saloon, and it's old school, man. It's old school.
Yeah. Well, it's it's all a matter of perspective, I guess. Like, do you remember when we were? I think we might have been 13 at the time. We recorded at that pretty legit studio in Erie after we played the Battle of the Bands at Penn State
With less than Jake,
with Less Than Jake. Yeah,
you shared the
and,
stage with less than Jake.
but really we played with I Am the Avalanche in Punchline, which is still pretty cool. I love I Am the
Well,
Avalanche. Well, they headlined.
well,
But
we shared the
anyways,
stage. Shared the stage.
but anyways, you remember that studio we recorded at, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the guy who recorded us when we were, I mean, freaking kids, he now has a studio in Denver, and
You stayed in touch with him?
no, I haven't. But he and my mom like somehow know each other. I'm not really too sure, but he was telling my mom that this is like the most expensive city in the country, and it's like you can't afford anything. It's like, well, yeah, dude, you came from Erie, Pennsylvania, where you can rent a house for like $300 a month. But we found a couple like 2-bedroom houses in like pretty nice parts of town for like $1,600 a month with like a garage and a backyard, and that's not much more than we paid for a garbage 2-bedroom apartment outside of DC with serious cockroach problems. So it's pretty affordable compared to even like the not so great parts of the outside of DC. So I think it's pretty reasonable. And I was looking at houses for sale, like just for funsies, and there was the kinds of places we're looking at renting. There were some that sold like last year or this year for around like 250, 300 grand, which is again compared to Arlington, it's like a free house. So,
Right.
I mean, I would rather pay something like $30,000 for a house, but I don't think that's going to happen. So,
Yeah, you have to come to Cleveland with me for that.
right. Maybe, man. I don't think I can ever go back east though. Like I miss my dad a lot.
Yeah.
I'm used to seeing him a couple times a year. I drive like 7 hours home to go hang out with him on the farm. That's going to be fewer and farther between, but
Yeah.
it's growing up, I guess.
Yeah, true. I think if nothing else, you'll find what you're looking for in the next year or two or three,
Yeah,
New towns are always tough, but you got a partner in crime. And, something will become clear to you in the next, give it 2 years
yeah.
and just see where you're at. State of the Union, November 7th, 2018. November 8th, it's past midnight now.
Oh God, yeah. The time differences, man. I'm never gonna get used to that. Or maybe I will. I don't know. I feel like it's just my computer here tells me it's 10:30, but coming from the East Coast, it would be it'd be 12:30 right now. But then we had daylight savings time, so it's like my brain is still kind of like telling me it's like 1:30 in the morning. I usually go to bed around 9 o'clock, but I haven't had a job in 3 weeks, so my sleep schedule is just like pretty whatever right now. John. Oh man, so I took my first paid vacation ever,
Sounds good.
which like feels kind of silly to say, but I've never had one.
What do you mean?
Like any time that I've wanted to like go away for a while, I just didn't get paid, like I worked in coffee shops and stuff, but
Oh, right.
I was working at the cabinet shop for like a year and a half, and I acquired 5 measly days of paid vacation, and we went to Argentina, and it was pretty awesome,
incredible?
man. Yeah. It was It was a really interesting place. It was huge. It was a really bizarre experience because I don't speak like a word of Spanish. I kind of cheated my way through German in high school.
What?
Yeah, yeah. I was
Scoundrel.
I was a bad student, man.
Bad boy. Are you a bad boy?
I was bad at school for sure.
So bad. You're bad.
But I'll tell you what, my favorite part of Argentina. Right, what am I wearing?
Yeah, describe it slow.
Dude, I'm fully clothed because it is freezing in this Airbnb.
Oh, good to know. Anyway, Argentina was cool, huh?
I'm in all sweats. My favorite part, which I know I kind of told you about, was every bathroom had a bidet in it.
Never used one. Is it awesome?
It is amazing. Like, when we buy a house, I think that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to
get a bidet
installed. It was like, I don't want to get too gross talking about doo-doo and stuff, but it was like, just like you took a shower after every dookie. And, dude, I've never felt so
alive,
so clean. It's just, yes, man. It was, I didn't expect it to affect me like that, but like as soon as we got back to America, I miss it. I miss it.
Yeah, there was a radio host for ESPN, Dan Lebitard. He after using it, he likened using toilet paper dry to trying to get pudding out of shag carpet with a regular towel for the bathroom. And I can't wipe my rectum without thinking about that comparison.
Yeah.
But now I dream of the day that I can get water shot up into my bum hole.
Dude, it's awesome. It's
people like rave about it. Like every time I've heard anybody talk about it, it was like you just said, like it's life changing. Like how have we not been spraying ourselves in the rump with water our whole lives?
I know. It's I kind of just like, I didn't think that I'd actually enjoy it, but I saw it there, so I kind of like just did it as like for like the novelty of it, you know.
When in Rome, Tom. When in Rome.
Like even in like the public bathrooms, they had one. It was just the norm.
Sure.
And man, it's just another reason why I just don't love America that much.
Not enough liquids touching your butt in America.
I think that's it, man.
Yeah, I think you're onto something. I really would love for someone to shoot moisture into my sphincter. Or onto it to clean it, I suppose.
Onto it, yeah. I don't think you want that.
I don't think you know what I want, and then you don't know my fucking life, dude.
I didn't mean to assume, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I don't even know if we can include this in the show.
Well,
I gotta watch my mouth.
I will. I'm just writing down a time marker, a time code of every time I have to throw a bleep tone in there. It's a lot, man. It's adding up. I'm about to run out of paper.
Well, not even the swearing. I don't mind the swearing. It's like trying to get you to laugh. So I'll say something about a sphincter, and then you do laugh, and then I realize like Tom's going to publish this, and I've been talking about my own butt muscles for the last. And I feel embarrassed. Immediate regret, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I'll have to try to not be crude.
All right, well, I'll change the subject and let you know that we never made it to that sex motel.
Oh. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so I didn't know that, like, I knew that you can find, like, pretty sketchy, like, hotels or motels that you can pay for by the hour. But in Argentina, we were in Buenos Aires, or however you are supposed to pronounce that. They're just like everyone knows about them. It's apparently on like a weekend, you would just find a bunch of like high schoolers like lined up down the street waiting to get in because they, still live at home and they can't do their thing with the parents home. And apparently the thing, like the way to get people into I forget what the place is called, like Trello. The way to get people in there is you have these like crazy like themes. Like I heard of one that could be like a jungle theme where there's like vines like coming down the walls. It's just like super over the top, like super like campy, And it was Megan's birthday when we were there, and I figured like, why not, man? I'm already using up a day. I'm just out of control. Why not go to a sex motel? And but we never made it. We ended up just looking at a bunch of shoes all day, basically walking around.
That is the worst alternative I've ever heard. Like all along, I was waiting to hear what you said you did instead.
I know.
That is the last thing I would have guessed or hoped for you.
I know. Well, we didn't just.
So instead of using a bidet inside a sex motel to clean off your funky junk, you looked at shoes for an extended period of time.
Well, we were staying with one of my girlfriend's like best friends from high school, and she is a shoe designer, and she has her shoes made in Argentina, and her fiance, whose house we were in, he does a lot of like the business end. So they like their lives are like designer shoes. And for a place that looks as like kind of third worldy as Buenos Aires, it was interesting to see kind of like rundown looking shops next door to a fashion clothing store that sells like $400 shoes. There was one that Megan actually got like a really cute dress from there, but the designer cut her daughter's hair and like glued it to the heel of a shoe, and it was like braided down the back of the shoe, and they were like hundreds of dollars, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
it was insanity. And so yeah, no sex motel.
Sorry to hear it, man.
No, it's okay. I mean, it was the day wasn't about me. But and I think that
we all make sacrifices.
Right. But no, it was great. Like Argentina was a lot of fun. We saw.
Yeah, I'm really jealous. Actually, I that sounds like your last 2 months of life have been. You've been getting after it, man. You've been living.
It's been crazy. I mean, we were out of town. The October, the whole month of October was out of control. Like the first weekend, we drove to Pennsylvania to say goodbye to family. Mm-hmm. Second weekend, we were in Philly for a wedding. 3 days later, we went to Argentina. We were essentially gone for like 8 days, and then we had 4 days to pack when we got back, and then we drove 3 days to Denver, and we're here now. Like it was crazy, and
you live there now.
Yeah, and now we live here. But it was really slow at work, like the whole month of October. So I don't even think I got any 40-hour weeks in when we're supposed to work 45. And then I just didn't work for like 2 weeks, and I am not going to get any more paychecks until I find a new job. So it's been wild. I've never been unemployed for so long, but it doesn't even feel like that because, I mean, we had to pack everything in just a couple days, and that was like
all into the car, or did you get like a pod or something?
Yeah. So we got these like they were pods, but they were through U-Haul. They were a lot cheaper, but we found out it's because they were just basically particle board crates with like rubber over them, and they're not even waterproof. Which I guess I kind of would have liked to have known beforehand, but we still probably would have used them because we're on a pretty tight budget. But it was a pretty good deal because, we have a rental, so we didn't want our stuff right away anyways. So we needed to pack it in a few days, store it somewhere in Virginia for a month, and then have it delivered out here when we're at our new place. So it was definitely the best option, and it was actually, I think it would have been cheaper than putting the stuff in a truck and driving it out here. So it was really like the only reasonable option. I'm glad it worked out, but I packed the wrong power cable for my external hard drive, and I'm just not going to have it for like 3 weeks, like stupid things like that I just shouldn't have packed, but we did. That's a little unfortunate, but
yeah,
you move on.
You do. You spray yourself between the cheeks, clean up.
I wish.
And you move on. It's a new day. You wash yourself You wash yesterday off and you move forward.
It's deep, man.
Without yesterday on your rectum.
Oh man,
that is deep. That was Thoreau actually said that.
It was great. I don't think I've read him either. I'm sorry. Actually, no, I read one.
No, not the right. His brother Donnie wrote a little bit too. It was less
Donnie Thoreau, the football player. Okay.
Wildly less famous and skilled for that matter. A lot of stuff about bidets.
Speaking
almost
of,
exclusively actually.
Oh. He's a bidet poet.
Donnie Thoreau. Yeah. It was like 4 books. Self-published. He didn't get a deal. It was a passion project.
Ebook.
Yeah.
They're hot, man.
You know, that old chestnut.
Man, more stuff. You know, it was funny. Like,
before I did the Donnie Thoreau bit, I thought, how can I bring this to a screeching halt?
We can edit around that if we have to.
This is probably going to only end up being like 20 minutes, but that's probably safe. The other one was probably about a good 20 minutes. You can find 20 usable minutes here, maybe. I feel like we have to dance between the bits a little bit to get our minds going. But I feel like if we talk for an hour or two, when we do it, you know, we'll be able to scrap together some 20-minute episodes, right? Something like that.
Yeah, and you know.
Plus, we're like the explainer pod for your network, right? Or aren't we? Or like housekeeping.
I don't really know what this is, and that's kind of okay.
Well,
you know,
I guess it would become we talk until we come up with 20 minutes of stuff that is amusing, right? So I guess it's a humor podcast, but it takes us a while to get. We don't write it, so it's all you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I guess
we probably should. I think it might be helpful if we.
It would probably help a whole hell of a lot. Yeah. Unless there are 20 good minutes in every phone conversation we have. Plus, I feel like we're both a little tired tonight. Maybe I know I am.
Dude, I'm exhausted, man.
So I'm not exactly firing on all cylinders myself, but
I feel you.
You know, if we talk for 2 hours, we could have 20 minutes of usable material. I feel like. How long did you envision these being?
I mean, just whatever, man. I mean, until we don't want to talk anymore.
Is 20 like you know podcasts more than me? Is 20 reasonable? Like, is that?
I mean, I'm sounds cliche, but I'd be much more into quality over quantity. And I don't imagine anyone ever wanting to advertise on this show. So it's not like we need to keep a length for advertising or anything. But, you know, I think, I don't know, man. I'm tired. But it's just kind of just an experiment, see what happens. I didn't want to like be doing this whole network, but not actually do anything myself. I think it would be helpful to just be kind of pumping those Quip documents full of like things we'd like to touch on. Like, I know for me, it would be easier to, just kind of like bullshit for a while and then have like a solid half an hour of like discussion about something in particular. 'Cause I've been so like antisocial and so isolated for like basically the past 2 years or more that I've been finding conversation. Well, like, we moved really far away from everything. And it was basically an hour drive to go anywhere or do anything. And before that, we lived closer. But if we moved our cars after 5 p.m., we wouldn't have parking. Like, we would end up having to park literally a half mile away and walk home. So we were pretty much just home all the time. And just been kind of focused on my own stuff. So I find conversations like harder and harder to be a part of. I'm usually just kind of like a silent observer to things. So like it takes me a little while for my like brain to get warmed up into like what we're talking about. So like when there's no like even rough outline, switching topics is like I feel like I can never fully get into it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
does that make sense?
indeed.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I think like, if we could just kind of catch up.
We should try to get one with Zach too soon. Or
yeah,
try to.
I know, man. I know. There's in the show art, there's 2 beer bottles on the roof, and there's a Coke bottle. And you know that I'm the Coke bottle. And I told the graphic designer I wouldn't ask for any more changes. There's 2 beer bottles, and I need both of you guys, or else it just doesn't make any sense.
Drama on top of the garage. I could have been drinking too. I can be the buffoon friend. Talking about my own butt. My own butt. I had a second. Pat, don't you think you've had enough? You don't know anything about me.
You guys went pretty hard in high school.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's what you
do.
do.
It's like small town America. Like, what else is there to do?
Right. Yeah, I mean,
But thinking back, like, loads of everything. Like,
right.
With your youth. There was so much to do. It didn't feel like it at the time.
I remember my entire senior year of high school in a long-distance relationship, and I was pretty much just overcome with anxiety the whole time. And on weekends, I would be in the basement playing Roller Coaster Tycoon and listening to Paramore's Riot.
Dangerous.
Almost an entire year. It was
although I guess the couch one would be more of a dangerous record to be basement listening to.
The what? Oh.
The one with the couch, the one that came before Riot.
All We Know Is Falling, which is actually inarguably their best album.
I'll buy that.
But pretty sad. Pretty sad. It's yeah.
Sometimes you just feel like there's a conspiracy against you and you want someone to explain it to you.
Man, I might have to call it tonight. I'm just so badly in need of sleep, and you're 2 hours.
Yeah, me too. I'm pretty tired. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I didn't bring the thunder tonight at all.
Wait, man, I can't rely on you wholeheartedly. I mean, this is this is our thing. I'm tired. I've done nothing but drive for basically the past 6 days. I'm burnt out.
So we'll get better with topics. We'll try to get Zach around. Yeah. I feel like what's the minimum time for each episode you like I feel like I've seen episodes of podcasts be 20, I've seen 50, I've seen an hour and a half.
Right. The podcasts I listen to have been like 2 hours, but that's I'm probably not going to have the time for that anymore because I would just listen to podcasts like 10 hours a day at work.
Yeah.
I would love for like 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
And I think if we're able to, like, if you want to come back like next week or like some other time, like since
I feel like if we had structure to the show too, like like a thing we did at the beginning and a thing we did at the end, something that helps it move along or something.
Yeah.
Well, not like segments. I don't know, but I feel like make it a show. Like, produce it up a little bit and hey, welcome to Reminiscent. I'm Pat. This is Tom. Yo, and then
yeah, man. I mean,
something to help the pace of the show go along, maybe a little bit.
We can still like consider this a test too, if you want. I mean, I say let's get into Quip. We can figure out like. I mean, dude, I even like hearing people just like talk about like movies or like talk about, like we'll just talk for like a half an hour at the beginning, catch up what's going on with our lives. I kind of want the show to be personal. I wanted to, like Megan said something earlier that I really liked. I was like, what the hell is the show going to be about? Like what is the purpose? Why are we doing this? And it was kind of in the midst of us talking about, all the struggles of like trying to find a job we like, trying to find a house we like, people not caring about what you're going through. They just want to know that you have a certain credit score to take the house, shit like that. And she just said, it's like, oh, it could just be like a kind of like a coming of age podcast. Like you're both in like super transitional times and just be like super open about it. I'm sure people would love that. Like, dude, I'll cry on a podcast. I don't care. Like,
all right.
So like, just catch up and like, talk about, I don't want it to just turn into like a half an hour wine fest because I know that I would be really good at that. But
yeah, me too.
just like catch up because the whole point of this was to just be able to talk to each other once a week.
So Pat, how's it going? I miss my girlfriend like a lot. Oh, okay, cool. Anything else? That's it and has been. That's fucking it, man.
I think like having, if we can do like, the half an hour of catching up, half an hour of like the actual show topic, call it a day. That would be a good show for me.
Okay. See if you can get a hold of Zach, man.
Yeah, I will. See what the hell he's up to.
And I guess I don't know if I'm worried about him necessarily, but I definitely don't know. He's been quiet lately.
Yeah. And he's not the quiet one, right? I mean,
no, not really. I don't know. He's got a lot on his plate too, I guess.
Yeah. For sure.
But do you want to stop recording?
Sure. Yeah. All right. I'm out.